White numerals, they'll be moving from left to right. So glad that you've joined us on what is a gorgeous Saturday afternoon here in Baltimore. Bailey Savio had a great bounce-back effort a week ago. Prolonged battle for this one. It's going to be kicked over the sideline, and so it will belong to the Bison to start today's game. Ryan McNulty not able to come up with that prolonged face-off.
You get two face-off men, Glenn, that are relatively the same statistically, each around 45%.
We take a look at our... It's been an issue for the Hounds this season. Chris, turning the ball over.
Roughly around 85% on the clears. I'd like to see that be a little bit higher.
For the record, 13.8 turnovers per game this season, the second most in the Patriot League. We're going to look at our Greyhound starters. Well, I'll tell you more about them in a second. First, Bucknell's going to get on the board. And, Chris, you asked for a quicker start. You're not getting it.
Well, I'm not sure they are going to get on the board. Loyola's taking issue with the goal. There may be need for more clarification.
It appears as though it's going to count.
I think they were going to. Loyola was looking for interference with Schaefer. As you can tell, he acted as if he couldn't see it.
We're going to watch it one more time.
Well, this started with Loyola being really confused on the substitution. You saw two guys going to the ball, and I don't know.
The attack in the midfield: Liam Bateman, Peter Swindell, Adam Patra. Defensively, Cam Wires, Kyle LeBlanc, Matt Hughes. And in goal, Sam Schaefer, the senior from Connecticut. So far this season, he's allowed 44 goals, a 9.17 goals against average.
Yeah, this is almost like Loyola's opener offensively as they go from side to side. Once they make the wing pass, they go with down screens to try to get a mismatch.
Evan James dodges back to his left, spins, fires in a low bouncer, and scores.
Boy, that Evan James just picks up right where he left off, right?
He's been okay.
So what you're going to see here, and this is really difficult in today's game, where you can sweep to the left and then sweep back to your right with no help coming. People, the purists are going to say, don't let them get back to
29.4% conversion rates.
Well, starting off in 1-3-2, now they shift into another set.
I don't see teams typically forcing the issue with these 30-second penalties. Swindell.
Told you, Glenn, that's my stat.
Right. Oh, Lindley, great dodge, but couldn't hold on. All sorts of contact.
My stat is how many shots actually.
Stepping into it, Swindell says, here's a shot for you, Chris Gunkel, and an extra man goal.
Well, he did with 2 seconds to go, Glenn, so he actually thwarts my point, which is there's very rarely a shot within 30-second penalties in today's game. But Peter Swindell is critical to Loyola for a number of reasons, but one is he's one of the few players that can really stretch the field. You're going to see him from about 12 yards out. Stick side high, but he just...
Since the Richmond game, where he did score a goal in the opener. Good to have him back on the field. Seen a couple of Greyhounds lose their footing so far today. Aidan Olmstead back up. Dodges to his right. Now to Bateman. Bateman stepping in, fires low. Good save. Ooh, able to hold on to it. Ben Clark, no relation that I know of. What a hit. Great opportunity. Fire it in. Aidan Olmstead off the turnover. Makes it 3-1.
Well, the best way to describe that goal, Glenn, is leave no doubt. He was about 5 yards out, and he let it go about as hard as he could.
Right.
Sidearm. It's the result of fantastic clear with some physicality by the Greyhounds. Olmstead rewarded for that physicality with a one-on-one, and as you can see, leave no doubt.
Aidan Olmstead, obviously, who was moved to attack earlier. But we'll see some different things, different looks. Up top, Dan Wigley shakes.
I mean, it must be really nice as an Loyola coach if you can move James to midfield and then substitute him with Kamish.
Not bad. So that's called a good problem to have, I believe. Back at X, Lindley. We saw Dan Wigley return last week. Joey Kamish this week. Greyhounds getting closer and closer to 100%. Great movement. Oh, what a move, and the low shot. Riley C. gets on the board for the first time today.
Nice offensive set there by Loyola, where they'll substitute it from the inside. But in essence, Glenn, this is the classic. You go from strong side to weak side, and as the defenseman approaches with a bad angle, as you can see right there, the old classic face dodge. Riley C. goes low. To your point, you have Kamish now. It shifts down to attack. He's playing point behind right now.
Charging in. How about that run? Wigley says, if you're not going to pick me up, I'll just go ahead and put it in.
Well, it's not rocket science right now for Loyola. It's basically them winning each individual matchup over and over and over again. And you're going to see that here with Wigley, who's a shifty player from New Jersey. He draws the short stick, runs by number 66, not Mario Lemieux.
Well, and just,
idea.
He had a step. Swindell didn't look over towards it. Greyhounds back into their offense. Evan James gets in front. Already a goal today. Just a quick note on Savio. He could today pick up or move. Oh my gosh, right in front. That is too easy. What vision to Aidan Olmstead.
Well, it's too easy because your last point was Bucknell didn't slide at all. Now, on this particular play, three people slide, which you're going to see in the replay. So Camish shifty. See 3 defensemen come right there?
Yep.
Nobody on the backside. You could have scored that, Glenn.
Maybe they're with him.
Got a little back here behind the cage.
What are you trying to set up when you do that, Chris?
A lot of times you're trying to get a mismatch, most likely for the attackman. Meaning you're trying to get the long pole to switch to the midi, and then you do a quick pass back to the attackman. Then you have an attackman with a short stick.
You seem to be doing a good bit of it back there. Terry now settles 35 on the possession clock. Terry feeds the top, good spin, and getting away a shot and burying it is Sopko.
Well, hey, we talked about it in the beginning in terms of X factors for Bucknell, and one of them was Alston Tarry and his ability to see the field and pass. And you saw that right here. There was not much room to make this pass. He does so, and as you see, Sopko has a great release.
The season, his 5th point of the year to cut it to 6-2 with 4:55 to play in the first. Able to muck this one up a little bit more. Gets back to the restraining line, comes away to the Bison, and that's going to be a easy score for Sopko as he had no one near him. Or coming up with that loose ball, obviously. Delivering a shot. He approached 4 minutes to play in this first quarter. Higgins again, tight D.
God, playing a short stick D midi in today's game is so
hard.
Oh,
and the tremendous check, but the Greyhounds not able to get the ground ball, and that turns into disaster. Great play, but Sopko gives it right back to Terry, and the Bison are back within 2.
Yeah, this is interesting how this game has changed, Glenn. Just unfortunate for Loyola. McNulty can't pick it up. Maybe a case of trying to move with it before he had it. And Bucknell.
The year, or of the day, that is.
Same thing as last time, 1-3-2 to start.
For what it's worth, coming into today, opponents have been just 2 of 13 on the extra man against Bucknell. And that
Will shifts into a 2-3-1 now.
An 84.6% kill was the best in the Patriot League. Stepping into that shot. Whoa, the heat. Good eye, sniper. Peter Swindell.
You would think if you score one like that previously, you would be respected more by the defense.
It really is almost the exact same as his first extra man goal.
Same placement, same idea. Bucknell late to come, and when they come, they duck their head.
Olmstead tries to go the other way. Bateman didn't expect it, but he's going to track it down before it goes out. However, just 20 seconds now on the possession clock. "12 seconds. Bateman spins it back. That's going to be deflected away. Swindell will pick it up, but there's just 6 seconds left. Swindell will... Oh, he gets a good vision, and Evan James at the buzzer. How do you like that?
Yeah, at first I thought Swindell was shooting, and I was like, well, that's a lollipop. He's got no chance. But again, this is a case of Bucknell really not being aware, spatially, of where people are, because it looks like Swindell's going to shoot, right? And then he pulls up.
Absolutely. How does Evan James get so open in front of the goal?
That's a mental.
Gets it back. Now to the other side of the field. Patra steps in, throws it back behind to X.
Swindell on a skip.
Thrown away. It'll get back to midfield. It's kept alive. Was there a push? No. 7 seconds left as the Bison will pick it up. They got to get a shot off quickly. Oh, a feed in front. That is unbelievable execution in the final seconds of the quarter.
Well, I think that was Matt Hughes there. That's kind of inexplicable, right? Like you at the end of the half, you can't let that happen, right? Swindell does a great job getting into the hole and then playing out. And as you can see, Loyola had just completely lost.
It was his second goal of the season. He is ever so capable. Just not able to put it away that time. Another ball on the turf. Cam Wires got it out.
That is important psychologically, in my humble opinion.
Why is that?
Well, you hadn't seen Sopko challenge Wires all day, right?
Okay.
Right there, he clears his team out and says, I'm going to take him. 2 steps, and he gets checked.
Lobbed forward, open, and an easy one for Lindley, plus the penalty to boot.
Well, Loyola's making Bucknell pay for their
10-man ride.
Aggressiveness on the ride. And as you say, it starts with Wires checking the ball to the ground, and then I believe he made the great clearing pass up there to Lindley. And Lindley, with the presence of mind, as you see, Wires makes a pass. And that's not easy. It's a bounce pass. He gets it, maintains possession, then scores and draws a penalty. I hope they see that Swindell goes overhand every time that he shoots, or for the most part.
Olmstead thought he might have a shooting lane there. Doesn't pull the trigger, gets it back. Boy, it feels like that's building to something with Olmstead, doesn't it? Just 14 seconds on the possession clock for the Greyhounds. Still 48 seconds on the extra man, but you got to score. Now get back to the top. Swindell steps in, and he's going to deliver again.
He's got the hattie. And I just spoke to it. Like, he overhand, it goes, shooting overhand makes it so difficult for the goaltender to get an idea about, is it going to go high? Is it going to go low? And to your point, you saw this building, and they just don't seem to receive. I'm going to take a stance and say, yes, I do agree with you.
Oh, my gosh. This is the first time in our time together.
I decided this week I was going to be more demonstrative in my opinions.
You'd love to. Great play, by the way, and a good ground ball for Higgins. A week ago, I tried to get you to go on the record about anything. Couldn't get it from you. Bucknell still trying the strategy of making the noise on the clear.
Look, you get
opportunity again. Oh, McNulty's going to give it off to Lindley.
Well, Bucknell got smoked again as they were almost in a triple team situation up there in front of their box. You know, you could get burnt by being overly aggressive when you play a great team like Loyola, and Loyola continues to do that to Bucknell here today.
Another point for McNulty, by the way. He's got 5 points already on the season.
Well, the challenge with McNulty. Nice job there by Bucknell. They're going to have numbers now on a break.
And Ben Clark lobs it ahead. Clark back in after serving the penalty. Delanoy in transition.
Liam Bateman doing a nice job trailing there, making Delanoy give it up.
Turnaround shot, low. Schaefer with a great save.
Boy, you got McNulty one up. Here we go. 4-on-3 Loyola.
Rozanka pushes it ahead. Lindley's wide open. Lindley gets it. Lindley finishes.
That's old school lacrosse, and really it wasn't even a 4-on-3. It turned out to be a 3-on-2 for Loyola. And really, to me, that play starts with Peyton Rozanka. See how he gives it up early? Unselfish play to McNulty. Saved by Schaefer. Wires picks it up, hits Rozanka. Rozanka has presence of mind. You hear Bucknell calling for a hold there on Higgins.
Not a lot on that shot. Don't know if it was deflected, but Terry sort of pushed it ahead.
Bucknell automatically goes to a 10-man.
Goal's open, and it's going to turn into a lengthy goal.
I mean, Glenn, as you know.
Why not, right?
Glenn, as you know, I'm not very bright.
No.
I just don't understand the rationale here. This is, you know, the second time that Loyola has taken advantage of this 10-man. They're now up 8. I struggle with continuing to do this.
Kyle LeBlanc.
If you're Bucknell, but I guess you live and die by the same sword, but
they barely even picked him up. Kyle LeBlanc from nearly midfield to see if he scored before. I don't remember one, but I haven't done all the games.
I mean, by doing so, they're creating offense for Loyola. They're creating it looks like tactical advantage for themselves whatsoever.
Greyhounds, it's unsettled right now. Can they take advantage? Yes, they can. And they're just coming in, and it's good to see Joey Kamish get back on the board. His first goal of the day makes it 14-5.
Well, we've talked about it earlier. Kamish loves, he's like Ovechkin. He loves that side. And as you can see, it's a simple hitch move. The defenseman's late, a little right-hand hitch. Defenseman now off balance. Easy can.
Trying to add to it. Patra Nowhere to go. Spins it back up top. Gunkel, what are you looking to see? You know, you get up by 9 goals in the second quarter. What a feed in front. You're looking to see an amazing play and a slam dunk for Wiggly.
What are you looking to see for Loyola?
Yeah.
Well, you know, Lou Holtz used to be famous for being harder on his team when they were winning. And I think if you're Coach Toomey, that's what you're looking for now. Are they paying attention? Are they mentally still in the game?
Dunk in the closing seconds of the first quarter has had a couple opportunities in front that he wasn't able to put home in the second. Slide comes again. And the ball comes out, scooped up by McNulty. Rizanka created it. He's going to get it back off the bounce. Pushes it ahead once again, wide open. Kevin Lindley's not missing that.
Well, I'm happy to see Peyton Rizanka get an opportunity to make a play because he's the one that made it to begin with. And it wasn't an easy pass to catch, but you see that a tough defense creates a turnover, and then McNulty does a great job leading Rizanka on the break. And then, as we've seen about 10 times today, Lindley's just wide open.
Just camped out, hanging out by him.
Step.
Swindell already with the hat trick on the day. Olmstead back to X. 25 on the shot clock. Try to engage from the far side. Evan James drops it down. Just 15 now.
Oh, you had Evan James open inside.
Wow, there's no angle there. How does that work? Olmstead to Lindley. So the Hounds do indeed kill off the penalty. Their first possession of this second half. Just head down to goal line extended.
Bucknell did a nice job there defensively. Loyola really overloaded that side. Bucknell handled that really well.
Just 7 seconds left. Nothing doing, getting in front. Oh my gosh, as soon as I say nothing doing, Kevin Lindley says, I'll find something there. At what point do you start doing that? It feels like it can't be still with 25 minutes to play in a game.
I think if you're Loyal, it's probably the beginning of the fourth period, if things stay the way they do.
Right.
Because you saw right there, it wasn't a great play by James. Like, you know, guys losing their focus a little bit. You have a tough game coming up next week. And so you want to make sure the guys stay.
Another find, and oh my gosh, Kevin Lindley.
You know, used to that set.
So 7 goals, Chris. That's a pretty good season for a lot of players.
It was a career for me.
Oh, no doubt. Do you really have 7?
I don't know if I even had that.
I was going to say. And Peter Swindell, he's got 4. Just firing them in from everywhere right now.
Well, you know, I'm going to state the obvious here. Bucknell just is not in a position to win any individual matchup against Loyola offensively. And as you see here, that's the case behind the cage as Loyola wins that matchup. And you see the funny thing there is you 7:32 left to go here in the third period.
With Kamish, as I just try to keep track of everything. 2nd assist of the game. 3rd point on the day. 4th point of the season. Obviously, he's only played in 2 games. And that'll be the first extra man goal of the season for Bucknell as Jermaine let it rip.
Yeah, Tanner Jermaine, the transfer from Nassau Community College. And you're going to see it's not something crazy here on the set, Glenn. He just rotates up top, but it's a hard overhand shot. Again, difficult to see if you're a goalie. Side.
So we expect to be announcing a few more names the rest of the way. Titelbaum came in replacing Sam Schaefer. Coming into today, Titelbaum had allowed 1 goal and made no saves, and he's already allowed 2 goals here in this 3rd quarter.
Yeah, you can see at the end of that, he's pointing to himself. I mean, that to me is just, he was kind of guessing because it was stick side all the way. Nothing really complicated about this shot. Loyola, they're late on the slot.
Obviously, you never know what might happen, and especially in this kind of crazy year, you need to be able to have confidence and whoever your backup goalie is going to be. We've seen both Teitelbaum and Freeman Whitaker.
Well, this is.
Oh, what execution on the extra man. Sopko on the run.
I was going to say it's a great opportunity for Loyola, to your point, to see what they have and to give Teitelbaum some experience, because it's just different once you're in the game and you're having to call plays. But you asked earlier, like, well, how long do you keep the starters in? Well, Loyola's certainly not as sharp. Leave your starters in to prevent any type of confidence from seeking into an opponent you were beating fairly bad.
Picking it up behind. Penalty is finally going to be released. So back to even strength.
Will Sherwood checking in off the midline.
And that's going to trickle in as well from up top. Welford gets his first of the game.
And as you can see, now Bucknell has complete confidence in their ability to score on Teitelbaum. Shots now coming from 12 to 13 yards out.
Teitelbaum hasn't made a save yet since entering the game.
Now, this is, again, another communication error by Loyola, and I don't know if that's on Will Sherwood or someone
up, right?
And does that give them a little bit more energy?
Somehow still with the ball, but not for long. It was a good job at first by Furlong, but he loses it in transition. That's the Hounds team that we saw in the first half.
I'm going to keep saying the same thing. Bucknell's lack of organization in transition is staggering to me. Like, how many times are you going to have a player of a caliber of an Olmstead or Lindley just be behind wide open on these break situations?
And Olmstead easily puts it home.
Like that.
Divisions, Loyola a bit behind the 8 ball after losing to Lehigh a couple weeks ago. So they sit in second place. The good news is that 2 teams from each division will make the Patriot League tournament. Unfortunately for Loyola, Lehigh not one of the teams they're seeing a second time this season. So the Mountain Hawks will keep that tiebreaker advantage. Lindley feeds it up front, and how about that bomb?
Well, if you see what we've been missing all year with Kamish now being back in the lineup. It's just off the top of my head, Glenn. That's what, his 6th point for today?
A 4th, I believe.
4th point, excuse me. So, but at any rate, you're seeing just a high amount of productivity from as a goal scorer, and
definitely gets the spot.
Who are Lehigh's toughest games? Do they play Army?
Off the top of my head, I assume they do, but I'll double check on that. So that shot fired wide. The point being that they would have to go back to Lehigh in order to play that semifinal for a spot in the Patriot League championship game. Now Loyola still has Georgetown. I know Georgetown just got their first loss to Denver earlier in the week.
They won today, though.
Running shot. That'll be a goal.
Another goal there by Kamish. Great.
Not a guarantee they don't lose 2, but it's going to be tough to envision them losing 2 games. If they don't, Loyola, they hold serve. They win out. They're the 2 seed. They got to go to Lehigh in the semifinals. Just finishing the other thought there, too, by the way, as we'll start naming some of the players who are getting out there. First, a Bucknell goal from Lundy. Brendan Lundy scores for the 3rd time today. Of course, Frank Federaca, the head coach at Bucknell in his 16th year. He's coached 65 All-Patriot League players, 10 All-Americans, 12 players who were drafted into the MLL before that league closed up shop. Still 2 minutes remaining. Opportunity in front. Loyola adds another. 24th on the day. It's going to be hard to get to 27, but Adam Patra gets on the board for the first time today.
Yeah, that's good to see. We've talked about that over the past couple of weeks, where you're dying for more productivity out of Patra, and it's not for a lot. They answered that question today, and I think they played a thorough game from start to finish.
They did surrender the first, but it was all Greyhounds from there. And they're going to improve to 4-2 on the season, 2-1 in Patriot League play as they win today 24-10 over Bucknell. And sounds of clapping fans in the stands. Family